Okay, a very good morning to all of you. So, I will be displaying the content right now. Please confirm whether this content is visible or not. Is it visible to all of you? Comprehension, some important guidelines. Is it visible? Can you all see it? Okay, good. So, reading comprehension will be there. Factual passage, I will be discussing some factual passages, and discursive passage, factual passages, these things will be there, and 8 marks are there. I am just revising some important guidelines, and then I will be moving on to the passage. Okay, now some important preliminary guidelines I like to discuss with all of you, since you all can see the screen. So straight away I will be moving on to the very first point. Use your pencil. Now whenever you are doing reading skills, particularly whenever you are doing reading comprehension, always use your pencil, because ultimately your pencil will act as a pointer, and it will help you to focus on the details in a passage. Suppose you are reading a passage, the pencil you can use as a pointer. It will help you to focus on the details related with the passage. Now that is one positive thing, and another thing is that your reading speed will also increase, okay, using a pencil. I guess there is someone on the line. Please hold on. Yes, very good morning to both of you. Welcome to the class. Yes, a very good morning. Yes, so I am now moving on. So see, the important thing what I told right now, that if you use your pencil, of course your reading speed will also increase. But remember one thing, do not read faster. If you read faster a comprehension passage, then obviously it will be very difficult for you to keep a track of the passage. So read at a very normal speed. Now while you are reading the comprehension unseen passage, there might be some words and phrases which are very important. So what you will be doing, you will be circling those words and phrases, because ultimately it will help you. It will enable you to select the accurate points. If you circle the important words and phrases, dear students, it will help you to select the accurate points needed to answer a question from the passage. And if you later when you will be answering the question from the passage, those circled up words and phrases will help you. Now I am moving on to the third important strategy, formation of an idea. Now some students, they do it, okay, this is also a strategy, that reading the questions before starting the passage. This can also be done. Now by reading the questions before you read the passage, you will develop an idea of what information you will need after reading the passage. So many of the students, they do it. They have this habit that before they go on reading the passage, okay, before they go on reading the passage, what they do, they go on reading the questions. Now in which way it helps? Now you can trace certain details, okay, some ideas and specific areas from the passage, from where the questions are actually given. Now it will help you to trace those paragraphs in a passage, or those portions in a passage from where the questions are actually given. Okay, so these are some of the strategies, some of the guidelines. There is another guideline that I will be showing you right now. I guess it is visible, dear students. This guideline is visible to you. Can you all see it, this guideline? Okay, fine, thank you so much. So just a minute, I guess there is someone on the line. Yes, very good morning, Ayush. Welcome to the class. Okay, so let me move on. So some important guidelines. So one I already told you. Another one is that whatever information is given on the passage, rely on those information only, instead of incorporating outside information. You might know a lot related with an unseen passage, it can happen, but whatever information is given related to the passage, try to focus on that information. Okay, just a minute, I guess there is someone on the line. Yes, I guess Anushka joined us right now. Yes, so whatever information is given, okay, related with the passage, rely on that information only, instead of incorporating information of a particular topic from outside. Okay, another important thing, just a moment, I guess again someone is on the line. Yes, Shomollo is on the line. So good morning, Shomollo, welcome to the class. Yes,
Good morning, sir.
good morning. So next important thing is that you should analyze each passage carefully before answering the accompanying questions. Analyze the passage, okay, because the passage you're analyzing, your understanding of the passage is important. The better you analyze the passage, the better you will be able to understand the passage. And the better you will be able to understand the passage, dear students, the better you will be able to solve the questions related with the passage. You will be getting MCQ type questions only, and in order to give the correct answer to each of the MCQ questions, you have to read the passage properly, and most importantly, dear students, you have to analyze the passage properly. I am now moving on. Always look for clues that will help you to understand the passage. This is a very important thing. Always look for clues. Okay, obviously if you read the passage, you will get a lot of ideas related with the passage, and that will help you to solve the multiple choice questions. And remember, while you are reading the passage, try to separate the main idea of the passage from the supporting details or the supporting ideas. This is a very important one. Read each question very carefully and be certain that you understand exactly what is being asked. This is very important, dear students. You might be thinking MCQ questions are given, it's so easy, it won't take much time, so options are there, I can easily answer. But dear students, you will make a big mistake if you answer randomly. My suggestion is that read each question very carefully and be certain exactly of what is being asked, because if you don't understand the question, it will be very difficult for you to give the right answer. Okay, so you have to understand the question very clearly. And for MCQ type answers, this point is very important, point number 6, as it is displayed right now in front of you. Always read all the answer choices before selecting the best answer. Now MCQ type questions, no need to make it hurry. Okay, select your answer properly, manage your time properly. Time management is very important, and I would suggest to all of you that read all the options very carefully, and after that you select the best option. I repeat, read all the MCQ type options very carefully, even if you know the correct answer also. Before directly solving, I would suggest you read the question properly, and of course after that you read all the options carefully, and after that you select the right option, okay, the main option, that whichever is preferable related to the question. And most of all, the first and foremost, or rather to say the most important thing, have faith in yourself, and obviously have confidence, and most importantly have faith in your understanding of the unseen passage. You have to have faith in yourself. You should have a good confidence, then only you can solve it, because ultimately an unseen passage will remain unknown to you, but obviously you have to solve it. Now no one will be solving it for you in the exam. You have to solve it on your own. So you have to understand the passage, you have to read the passage. In order to analyze the passage properly, you have to read the questions. MCQ type options will be given. Okay, questions also will be multiple choice questions. Despite knowing the answer, read all the options carefully. And most importantly, dear students, while you are reading the passage, because later in your home while you are solving the passage, use a pencil to underline the key words. You can circle the key phrases and words that will help you while you are solving the questions from the passage. And last but not the least, the most important thing, as I was referring the last point, have confidence, have faith in your understanding of the unseen passage. That means you should have that faith that whatever I have understood, it is correct. Whatever I am solving, it is perfect. So you should have that faith. Okay, so I guess up to this it is clear to all of you. Is there any doubt, any questions at the back of your mind? You can ask me. Any questions? Or up to this it is okay, fine. So now let us move on. I am now about to show you a factual passage. Okay, and please see everyone whether the factual passage is visible to all of you. Is this passage visible to all of you? Remember, you will have factual passage in your exam. Okay, and that factual passage will be of 8 marks. 8 MCQ type questions will be given, because all the questions basically that will be given are MCQ based. So before I get into this passage, I will be explaining this passage. So before that, you all say whether you all can see this passage or not. One of you can confirm me.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, fine. So let us move on right now. This passage is a very interesting passage. It might seem a bit lengthy, but let us read this passage, okay, because this type of passages you will get in the exam. So obviously before solving, you have to read it out. So let me just continue explaining the passage. See what is written. Read the passage given below and answer the questions. And what is the marks? 8 marks is there, because after the passage 8 MCQ type questions are given. So let us come to the very first paragraph. See, the literary tradition of India goes back to more than 3000 years, and during this period Sanskrit occupied a preeminent position. The meaning of preeminent position is very important position. Obviously Sanskrit is termed as the most oldest language. Okay, see, Sanskrit played a key role. What is the meaning of key role? Key role means very important role in providing continuity to the Indian civilization. So Sanskrit plays a very important role, and it plays a very important role in respect to Indian civilization. Now remember, ancient India knew 2 scripts, and what are those 2 scripts? One is Kharosthi, okay, very important, and another one is Brahmi. These are the 2 scripts. Okay, Kharosthi was written from right to left, remember it, and was prevalent in Gandhara. Now Gandhara means which region? Eastern Afghanistan and North Punjab. Kharosthi script was actually written from right to left, whereas Brahmi script was written from left to right. I guess it is clear to all of you. Kharosthi script was written from right to left, whereas Brahmi script was written from left to right. Okay, it is this script which became the script of the Sanskrit language. So it is the Brahmi script which ultimately became the script of the Sanskrit language. Birch barks and palm leaves were the original writing material. Don't think that they have original writing material is pen and paper like this that we have today. It is the bark of the trees and obviously the palm leaves. Okay, they are being used as the original writing material. So what are the key things we learned? Kharosthi, it is actually written from right to left. Brahmi, it is written from left to right. Okay, I am moving on to the second paragraph right now. See, it is written, Sanskrit was the language of the Aryans, and Aryans who belong to the Indo-European group of races. Okay, remember dear students, Sanskrit actually belong to the Aryans, language of the Aryans. Okay, Sanskrit does belong to the Indo-European group of languages. So ultimately we can sum up by saying that Sanskrit belong to the Indo-European group of languages. Now the time period of the Sanskrit, or the origin of the Sanskrit language. See, it is written, classical Sanskrit developed from the Vedic period between 500 BC and about 1000 AD. Okay, these points are very, very important, dear students. As I highlighted right now, I guess you all can see it. So this is the time period 500 BC and about 1000 AD. And remember, we talk about Vedas, right? What is the meaning of the term Veda, and from which word it originated? See, Veda is derived from the root word Ved. And what is the meaning of Ved? Ved means knowledge. Remember, Vedas, and the root word is Ved, and Ved means knowledge. Now, satisfying knowledge par excellence, which later became scantified as sacred knowledge. Now, Vedas, later it is related with sacred knowledge. We talk about Vedas. Vedas are related with our ancient tradition of culture and knowledge. So Vedas, it is originated from the root word Ved. Okay, and later knowledge about Vedas is considered as sacred knowledge, something that is very important. Now we are moving on to the third important point. See, the Vedas are said to be divided into two sections. And what are those two sections? Mantra and Brahmana. Okay, these are the two sections in which the Vedas are being divided. Okay, remember, when we are doing factual passages, the factual passage actually means to provide you the right information. Okay, so see, the Vedas that we have read in the previous segment, in the previous paragraph, it is divided into two sections, dear students, as you can see. One is mantra and one is Brahmana. Okay, mantra means which is thought out by the mind, that is known as mantra, and Brahmana means the explanation of the Brahmin, that is Brahmana. And as you have read in ancient Indian history, you have read that there are 4 Vedas. I guess you know the name. The first one is the Rig Veda, the next one is the Sama Veda, the third one is the Yagur Veda, and the fourth one is the Atharva Veda. Okay, so these are the 4 Vedas. And remember, the Rig Veda is the most earliest one. It is the most earliest text. It is the Rig Veda, has many things in common with the Iranian Zend Avesta and is written in verse. So Rig Veda has many things in common with the ancient Iranian religious text by the name of Zend Avesta. And remember, Rig Veda is written in verse. Okay, it is the earliest specimen of Indo-European language, and remember, it is divided into 10 cycles. Okay, it is known as 10 cycles or mandalas, and it has, see, around 1028 hymns. This is something very important for MCQ type questions. What are the questions that we will be discussing? But let me explain the passage a bit. Remember, it is divided into 10 cycles. These are the points that while you are reading, you should be very much careful about. Okay, you should careful about the important points. Okay, you can underline or you can highlight it. Just like this one, 10 cycles on mandalas, very important, and it consists of 1028 hymns. Very important. The Rig Vedic hymns, in the words of Rabindranath Tagore, are a poetic testament of the people's collective reaction to the wonder and awe of existence. It is something the oldest. When we talk about Rig Veda, just remember, it is the oldest and the earliest text, and according to Rabindranath Tagore, It is actually the poetic testament of a people's collective reaction to the wonder and awe of existence. Existence of what? Existence, human existence. Okay. Now remember, it is written in verse, and it is like poetry. Okay, melodious poetry, but it has a religious significance, dear students. See, they are poems of praise to the beauty of the earth and nature and its power. Basically, Rig Veda, they are poems of praise to the beauty of the earth and obviously and nature and its power. Okay, something that is very, very important for us to know. Now you see, I am moving on to the fourth important stanzas, because there are other religious texts also apart from Rig Veda that we have to know about, right? See, as the Aryans settled down and a ritualistic religion developed, the need was felt for a hymn. Hymn means a religious song, okay, which could be sung and set to tune. Thus arose the second compilation. So what was the second compilation? It is the Sama Veda. Okay, Sama actually means what? Sama actually means song or melody. And remember, the text, that is the text of the Sama Veda, it consisted of 1875 verses. Okay, I repeat one more time. The text of the Sama Veda consists of 1875 verses. Very important for your MCQ type, okay, questions. And what is the meaning of Sama? Sama actually means song or melody. And remember, the third one is the Yajur Veda. Okay, it comprises approximately 2000 mantras. Now this point is also important. This is the third one. We have read about Rig Veda, we have read about Sama Veda. Now it is the Yajur. And what is the meaning of Yajur? Yajur actually means a sacrificial formula. Okay, and it comprises of 2000 mantras. That is something very important, dear students, important for your MCQ. But there is one more Veda is there, that is the last one, that is related with the Atharva Veda. Now mainly it is a book of spells and incantations, meanings related with magic. To ward off. What is the meaning of the term ward off? Can any one of you say me what is the meaning of the term ward off? Diseases, enemies, evils and so on. Can any one of you like to comment on this? What is the meaning of the term ward off? Yes, anyone? Can any one of you say what is the meaning of the term? Shomodip? Others? Anyone? Dear students, what is the meaning of this term ward off? Can any one of you has any idea regarding this? What is the meaning of this term? See, to ward off diseases, enemies, evils and so on. So can any one of you say what exactly is the meaning of this term? Yes, dear student? Yes, to drive out. Yes, to eliminate, correct, to drive out. Okay, very good. So basically in Atharva Veda, you will get information about medicines. Okay, you will get information about spells and magic. Okay, and obviously in that Atharva Veda, I mean, it has been given many important information is given how to eliminate diseases. Okay, how to eliminate evils, enemies and diseases. Now remember one thing, this Atharva Veda originated as Advayu, that is the executor of the sacrifice, began to perform sacrifice for masses. And remember one thing, in the Atharva Veda there are how many mantras? 6000 mantras. Okay, these things you have to remember. And remember, the mantras of all compilations were handed down first in the oral tradition, because there was not a written record. So remember one thing, all these mantras are been transferred from one generation to the other, or all these mantras are actually compiled. What is the meaning of compilation? Compilation means arrangement. So all these mantras are compiled and handed down in the oral tradition. Orally, knowledge was been given, or knowledge was been spread orally. Okay, and remember, in the Atharva Veda there are how many mantras? 6,000 mantras. Very important. One more important paragraph is there, and then I will be moving on to the MCQ type question. See, besides the 4 Vedas, okay, the sacred stratum of Vedic literature includes the Brahmanas, the Aranyakas, and the Upanishads. These things are also very important. Vedic literature consisted of the Brahmanas, the Aranyakas, and the Upanishads. Remember, the Brahmanas give rules for rituals. Okay, the Brahmins, okay, they give rules for the rituals and their explanations and are attached to all the 4 Vedas. Remember, the Brahmanas are attached to all the 4 Vedas. Okay, then see, the later portion of the Brahmanas are known called Aranyakas, and the final parts of the Aranyakas are philosophical books, and those philosophical books are actually referred as Upanishads. Okay, whenever we talk about Upanishads, okay, remember these are the final parts of the Aranyakas, and these are actually philosophical books with which the Indian thought reached its pinnacle. Pinnacle means the highest level of spiritual existence. Okay, pinnacle. Aranyakas, the name suggests what? Aranyak. It is something related with forest. See, forest text. Probably because these thinkers retired from the ritual dominated society to the forest where they composed this text. Okay, so those rishis, okay, or those hermits, those religious people, they probably retired from the ritual dominated society and they went to the forest. They started living in the forest where they went on composing this text. And remember, the term Upanishad, I told you, philosophical books, the last part of the Aranyakas, it is related with the Upanishad. And what Upanishad actually means? Upanishad means to sit down near someone for a confidential communication. Just like I am sitting down and you are all there, virtually you are listening to me. Now sit down, that is the pupils. Near someone means the teachers. And obviously for what? For confidential communication. Obviously for transferring religious sermons or hymns. That is the main purpose of Upanishad, where the students will sit down near a guru or a master or a teacher. And obviously there will be confidential communication will be spread, or there will be a confidential communication that will be between the students and the teachers. Now with progressive evolution, it became a sacred session or a sacred doctrine. Now obviously with the progress of human civilization, later Upanishad actually became a sacred session, or we can say sacred doctrine. Now whenever the term sacred is there, dear students, it is something related with religion. Okay, so before I move on to the MCQ type question, this passage is completed and I discussed it. I guess it is clear to you. What we have learnt that the literary tradition of India, it is almost 3000 years old. We learnt about Sanskrit. Okay, it plays a very important role in the continuity of Indian civilization. We read about Kharosthi and Brahmi script. We read about Sanskrit. Okay, and then we read about Vedas. Okay, and particularly, dear students, remember the root word comes from the word Ved. Ved means knowledge. Then we read about the 4 Vedas, isn't it? What is the name of the first one? The Rig Veda. The second one, what is the name? Sama Veda. Third one, Yajur Veda. And fourth one, obviously, Atharva Veda, right? And then we have read in detail about all these Vedas. We get to know that there are 10 cycles or mandalas in case of Rig Veda, and it has almost 1028 hymns. We read about Sama Veda also, which means song or melody. And the text of Sama Veda consisted of 1875 verses. Okay, we read about Yajur Veda. It comprises of 2000 mantras. Okay, and obviously Yajur means sacrificial formula. We read about Atharva Veda. it is a special Veda where many informations are given related with medicines, many informations are given related with incantations, how you can eliminate evils, diseases from the society. And we get to know that Atharva Veda consisted of 6,000 mantras. Okay, and remember all these mantras, whether it is Rig Veda, Sama Veda, then obviously Atharva Veda, all these mantras are transmitted through oral tradition. Okay, and then we get to know about Aranyakas Upanishads. We get to know that Aranyakas means forest text. Okay, Upanishad means to sit down near someone for a confidential communication. So all these things we get to know from this particular unseen passage. Now dear students, I like all of you to interact with me, because now I will be coming to the MCQ type questions. Okay, answer also has been given, not here. I have separately given the answers and uploaded in the Google Classroom, and after the classes I will be uploading in the WhatsApp group also. You can check it out later. Okay, now let us come to the answer part. Let's see how you can answer me. I guess the questions are visible to all of you. So I need your help, dear students, and I need your cooperation also. What will be the answer to the first one? The Sama Veda was compiled because, what will be the answer? The Aryans wanted to praise the beauty of earth, or the need was felt for a hymn which could be sung and set to tune, or the Aryans wanted to signify knowledge par excellence, or the Aryans wanted to borrow verses from the Rig Veda. Dear students, what will be the right answer? Yes.
Sir, I think option number D.
Option number C.
D is the last one.
Oh, option number D. Yes, you are absolutely right. The Aryans wanted to borrow verses from the Rig Veda. Very good. Very nice. Next one. Birch is a type of. What it will be? Birch. It is a tree, or flower, or shrub, or leaf. What will be the answer? Birch.
A tree.
Yes, very good. Birch of a tree. Absolutely right. See? Very good.
It's a tree.
Yes, absolutely right. Tree is the correct answer. Very nice. I am moving on to the third one. What is a verse? Is it not poetry, or a section of a piece of writing usually consisting of several sentences dealing with a single subject, or a group of lines that form a unit in a poem or song, or a song? What will be the answer? Which option are you selecting, dear students? Which option? Yes, dear students? Verse? Which option? Mohanjit, Shomodeep?
Sir, B.
Yes, correct. Very good. Yes, it is B. Next one. The word ritualistic. What does it mean? So whenever we talk about ritualistic, what does actually it means? Is it refers to a series of actions that are always performed in the same way? Or is it connected with the rituals performed as part of a ceremony, or something not holy, something traditional? What is the meaning of the term ritualistic? Which option are you selecting, dear students? Which option? Yes, dear students. Number B or number D, or A or C? Which one? Ritualistic. Yes, dear students. Which one? Yes?
Sir, B.
Yes, very good. It is number B. Correct. Connected with the rituals performed as part of a ceremony. Excellent answer. Next one. What is a hymn? A song of praise, especially one praising God, or a song in criticism of someone or God. Something that suggests what will happen in the future, or a song is taken from the Rig Veda. What is the meaning of the term hymn? Hymn. Yes, which one, dear students?
Sir, option A.
Very good. Yes, it is option A. Correct. Very good. Option A. A song of praise, especially one praising God. Very good. Next one. Then there is a blank. Mantras in the Atharva Veda. How many? How many mantras?
Sir, 6,000.
Very good. Absolutely right. 6,000. See, you are answering on your own. Second last question. Yagur Veda comprises approximately, then there is a blank, in prose for the purpose of recitation and the rules to be observed at the time of sacrifice. So how many mantras Yagur Veda comprises? Yes.
So 2000?
Yes, very good. It is 2000. Yagur Veda comprises 2000 mantras. Absolutely right. Last one. The Sama Veda consists of approximately, what is the number of verses? This is the last one.
Sir, 1875.
Yes, 1875. Absolutely right. Very good. Thank you for all your cooperation, dear students. I end my class here, and some more passages are given. I will be uploading already in Google Classroom. It is uploaded. Please practice, because factual passages will be there and MCQ type questions like this will come in your exam. Thank you everyone for your nice feedback, for your interaction, and see you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. See you all tomorrow. Have a nice day.